How you doing? So you got BYU, Kansas this week. I mean, how you feeling? You just beat a top 10 team, but how you feeling about some of the non-conference challenges just up ahead?
Well, we're in the midst of as challenging of a stretch as you can really create, and three of those games being in a road environment with the one game at home, Wichita State. So this is, this maybe simulates one of the more difficult stretch in a conference season too, or difficult road games, top teams. So, we're just continuing to try to build on the blueprint and find ways. We made a lot of errors in the Wichita State game. We really dodged a bullet in a number of different ways and managed to make just enough plays in it, but still significant ways to go for us to be competitive with the elite teams like Wichita State and the teams we're about to play.
What's your reaction to the Utes going to the Vegas Bowl and having all those fans down in Vegas maybe that can help you guys in that UNLV game?
Well, I'm thrilled for our football team to be in a bowl game. It's an accomplishment for them in a really difficult league with a hard schedule that they played. And I think, the Pac-12 in football has proven itself to be a difficult venue to win games. Had a lot of big wins, winning on the road. And so I'm happy for Coach Witt and his staff. And I threw it out there a couple months ago. I think when we became bowl eligible, I mentioned it to Bill Riley that there's a chance. I think my wife made mention of it, and it's going to be a heck of a day potentially for Ute fans to be able to go down and watch an afternoon bowl game, and then conceivably stick together for one more late night game. And I know the MGM is doing a terrific job in opening up some really good rates. I mean, I think I heard $70 or $80 a night or something like that so it's attainable for a lot of fans to maybe get down there and do a little cross training, spectating, but I'm happy for the football team, and it's a little bit further down the road for us. We've got a couple in the way before we get to that one, but it certainly gives us an opportunity to put some more red that's not the running rebel red into that building, and could be a fun day of sports for our fans.
Larry, you joked a little bit about locker room fodder after the game the other night, and is that overrated, especially in a rivalry game like this? Is there such thing as locker room fodder?
Well, I think everybody's different. Whatever one chooses to be a motivating factor, I think that's the key. I think with the game of this magnitude, me cracking a joke shouldn't have much to do with it. If it ends up lighting somebody's fire, then so be it. But I think there's enough other things going on within this game to not get caught up in some of that stuff. But coaching staffs and players will look for motivation in any way they can. And the reality is you just have to be ready to go when it's tipped off. And a lot of what's talked about and speculated, is really of not that much importance. It's more about between the lines of trying to make the next play. So I think it's a big part of sports and some gamesmanship and fun in a rivalry game like this. As far as, I think it's probably something that you talk about more after the game as to whether it was motivating or not.
Right. Is there a mutual respect between these programs, though, do you think, just because of the rivalry and everybody gets caught up in the external things, but...
Well, I respect the heck out of Dave Rose and what he's done with his program and the way he carries himself and so forth. I think mutual respect has a lot more to do than what I think. It's a rivalry, and it's supposed to stir up some emotions, and I think you're fooling yourself if you talk too much about how much we respect each other, because at the end of the day, it's like playing somebody you want to, cordial and everything off the court and in the summer recruiting. But at the end of the day, it's an awfully big game. We both want to whip up on each other. So that's kind of the nature of sports. I think there's relationships built in, but it's still very much about winning the game.
And Larry, last thing, you talked about, you've upgraded the schedule and that, but this is a brutal 3 games away from home. Can you just talk about what you've gotten yourself into?
Well, I'm not thinking about the 3. It's a survival. It's our game at BYU on Wednesday night, and we can't change it now, unfortunately. So it's, I'm hoping our team's ready to go. It's 3 games, and we go Wednesday, Saturday. So we've got ourselves a little bit of prep time. I mean, we've had a week leading up to the BYU game. It'll be a little bit short turnaround for Kansas. So it's a survival thing. It's how we're going to try to win the next point, and hopefully we're still have a little bit of a pulse by the time it's all said and done. And as my doctor said many years ago when I was going through my knee injury, if it doesn't kill you, it's just going to make you stronger. And that's the point for us, is that we're trying to, reach our potential. And I think some of these early season challenges put you in that spotlight pretty quick, and try to prepare us for conference play.